Hello, all my dear students. My name is Vijay Gulati. Welcome to Sri Jain's Rank Zone classes. I am your friend and mentor for the mathematics portion, dear students. And today, I am going to discuss with you the chapter linear equation in two variables. This is the class 1 of the chapter, okay? Class 0, 1. I will be telling you the basics first, then we will be moving on to questions. Basically, equation solving questions will be done mostly because you know the basics. But still, I will revise for you the basics for you, okay? I'll discuss the basics. See, pair, what is the name of the chapter? Pair of linear equation in two variables. Let's discuss the main thing. Pair of linear equation in two variables. These are three things. Pair, linear equation, two variables. What does two variable means? It means x and y. Pair means there will be two equations. There will be two equations involving x and y. Like ax plus by is equal to c, then dx plus ey is equal to f. Now what do we have? We have two variables. We have a pair of equations. The third thing, linear. Linear means line. When do we get a line? Dear friends, we get a line when the power of this x and the power of this y is 1. Power of this x is 1, the power of this y is 1. The line which we get is actually a straight line in a 2D. This gives what? This gives a line in a two-dimensional plane, like a line which you can draw on your copy. This is a line. You can very easily draw a line in your copy. You will think, what other sort of line can be? Dear students, line can also be in a three-dimensional space. How come in a three-dimensional space? See, this is a two-dimensional space. This is a line. Okay, this is a line. Fine. But if I talk about three-dimensional space, how is a three-dimensional space? A three-dimensional space is like this. This is a three-dimensional space. Okay, so in this case, a line can be like this. This is a straight line, but it goes from one plane to another. So this, if this sort of line is there, then this line is represented by ax plus by plus cz is equal to d. Here you have a third variable z. Okay, so let's remove this. Let's keep this aside. So you got everything. Line. How do you get a line when you get the power x and y 1? So linear means line. You have power 1 1. Two variables means x and y. You have two variables. Pair means two equations. Okay. Now let's discuss what are the types of equation. I very simply put up a equation in front of you. 2x plus 3y is equal to 6. How do you draw this line? How do you plot this line? Very easy thing, put x is equal to 0. The moment you put x is equal to 0, what do you get? The moment you put x is equal to 0, you get 3y is equal to 6 or y is equal to 2. Done. Next time put y is equal to 0. When you put y is equal to 0, you get 2x is equal to 6 or x is equal to 3. So you put y is equal to 0, you get x is equal to 3. If you draw it in a two-dimensional plane, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so put x is equal to 0. Okay, what you get? You get y is equal to 3, x 0, y 3, x 0, y 2. Okay, this is the point. You put x, y is equal to 0, you get x is equal to 3 this. So if you join these 2 points, this becomes a line. This is one thing. Dear students, one thing is to be noted. Since this number is not 0, therefore the line does not pass through the origin. Does not pass through the origin. The line does not pass through this point. Okay, got this basic thing? Fine. Now what I intend to teach you is, if this thing is not 0, if there is a line like 2x plus 7y is equal to 0, this line will definitely pass through origin. This line will definitely pass through origin. This is one thing. I have plotted a line in front of you. Now comes the main thing. See, the complete concept of when do the lines intersect, when the lines don't intersect. Let me start. See students, if I put up a equation in form of ax plus by is equal to c. Okay, ax plus by is equal to c. Then dear students, there is a ratio called minus a by b, or let's talk about only a by b. A by b defines the inclination of a line. The inclination of a line. Inclination of a line. What is the inclination? Inclination means slope. It's actually minus a by b, but the concept which I need to tell you, I can explain by a by b also. A by b means inclination or slope. Like this line is has very little slope. If you put a ball over here, it will roll down very slowly. Okay. If I talk about this line, if I talk about this line, this will roll fast. If I talk about this line, the ball will roll very very fast. It is less steep, it is more steep, it is far more steep. Okay, far more steep. So how is this inclination determined? This inclination is determined by this a and b, or minus a by b. This is one thing. So far clear? Or I can say this has less slope, this has more slope, and this has even more even more slope. Why I am telling you this, I'm not sure, you might have you have read it in your school academics or not. Why I'm telling you this, because this will tell you that this is the basic for the entire chapter of the linear equation in two variables. Why? How does this act as the basic? Look, see dear students, if I say two lines two lines let me take you to the next page, or let me use a thinner pen. Two lines in a plane, two lines in a plane have two lines in a plane are not parallel. Case one, okay, I say two lines in a plane are not parallel. Then this will be how much? This will be like this line is one, this line is another. Okay, or I can say this is one line and this is another line. This line has slope as m1. Slope is represented by m. The slope of this line has slope m2. Okay, slope m1 and slope m2. Clearly, I know this line is less steep. This line is more steep. When I say this line has less slope and this line has more slope, what I will say, m1 is not equal to m2. Why? Because slope of second line is greater than the slope of first line. Why? A ball kept over here will roll immediately fall down to the ground. This will take some time to come down to the ground. Getting this basic point, my dear students. So just give me a second to rub this. So m2 is greater than m1, I can say m2 is not equal to m1, or m1 is not equal to m2. Why? Because they have different slopes. So when m1 and m2 are does not have the same slope, what I say slope of first line not equal to slope of second line, or minus b by a. M1 is not equal to m2, I will say minus a by b, minus a1 by b1. Let's say these are two, this is first, then minus a2 by minus a1 by b10 is not equal to minus a1 by b2. This is not equal. Okay, if this is not equal, minus to minus will cancel. This implies what will happen, a1 by a2 is not equal to b1 by b2. Why? Because the slopes are not equal. Slope is a ratio of a by b. There are two lines. Let's say this first line is a1x plus b1y is equal to c1. The second line is a2x plus b2y is equal to c2. Since the two lines have different slope, therefore this ratio is different. Therefore a1 by a2 is not equal to b1 by b2. Now I again express this thing. Two non-parallel lines, two non-parallel lines in a plane, let's say, have unequal steepness, unequal steepness, or unequal slope. What is slope? That is unequal m1 and m2. That is m1 not equal to m2, or what is m1? Minus a1 by b1 not equal to minus a2 by b2. The moment I say so, they have any, therefore I can say a1 by a2 not equal to b1 by b2. This is the condition. Okay, dear students, this is clear to all of you? Yes, it is clear. Now, let's move to the next concept. Now, sir, now students, I take you to a concept called parallel lines. See, what does parallel lines means? See, I draw a line like this, and exactly parallel to this, I draw another line. Okay, I take this as coordinate axis. I say these are my coordinate axis x and y. This is y axis, this is x axis, this is line 1, this is line 2. As I told you, the slope is what? Slope is m1. Okay, slope is m1. Now, dear students, what happens is, since these two lines are parallel, slope is, let's say, m. So both the lines will have same slope. Same slope. These are what? These are parallel lines. These are parallel lines. When these have parallel lines, they will have same steepness. Like a ball rolling from here will roll at the same speed as this ball. This ball. They have same slope or same steepness. Therefore, what I will say, m1 is equal to m2. m1 their slope will be equal. Their slope will be equal. Now, what does it mean? I will say their slope is, see there is one more, the m1 and m2 you got. There is one more way of writing an equation of a line. This is y is equal to mx plus c. Y is equal to mx plus c, or let's say this c represents a number called height from here to here. The c represents height from here to here. Okay, dear students. Okay, this constant number c, whatever is written on the other side of equal to represent the height of this number. Fine. Here this will have a different constant, different height. Okay. Here this will have a different c. Now what I mean to say, two lines have same slope. So what will happen? They have, this is c2, this is c1. Two lines have same slope. What will happen now? A1x, the equation of a line is ax plus by is equal to c. Let's say a1x plus b1y is equal to c1. Similarly, a2x plus b2y is equal to c2. Now what will happen? Since this c1, this capital C1 not equal to capital, this is small c1, okay? This small c1 is not equal to small c2. So what I mean to say is a1 by a2 equal to b1 by b2, but this is not equal to c1 by c2. I have told you the logic behind this. I have told you the logic behind this. This is the reason that when there are two parallel lines, their heights are different. Their point of intersection with the y-axis is different. So this point of intersection determines the constant term. This. Okay. So if two lines, these are parallel lines, they don't intersect. Fine. These parallel lines don't intersect. Okay. Now what will happen, dear students? This thing you have got it. Okay. You have got it. Parallel lines. Parallel lines what? Don't intersect. Don't intersect. Done. Next thing. Students, I take the equation of a line as 2x plus 3y is equal to 6. Few moments back, we coordinated, we draw this line. It was like If you put y is equal to 0, you get x3. Okay. If you put x is equal to 0, you get y2. You can draw a line like this. This is the equation of a line. 2x plus 3y is equal to 6. Now, this is the equation of a line. Now, what do? I take a similar line and multiply this by 2. When I multiply this by 2, what I get? I get 4x plus 6y is equal to 12. Here I put x, y. If I put x is equal to 0, I get y is equal to 2. If I put y is equal to 0, I get x is equal to 3. Okay. Now 4x plus 6y is equal to 12. If I put x is equal to 0, what do I get? I get y is equal to, if you put x is equal to 0, you get y is equal to 12 by 2, 12 by 6, that is 2. And if you put, and if you put, and if you put y is equal to 0, you put y is equal to 0, you get 4x is equal to 12, x is equal to 3. So although these two lines are, in terms of representation, in terms of written ABC, these two lines are different, but they pass through the same 2 points. They pass through the same 2 points. So in such a case, let's see what happens. A1 by A2 is what? 2 by 4. This is A2. B1 by B2 is what? 3 by 6. This is half. This is also half. Then C1 by C2 is what? 6 by 12. Okay, dear students, 6 by 12, or this is again half. So what I can say, my dear students, for if I write a line like this, if I say these are two different lines, but they pass through the same point, it means these two lines are actually coincident, or one line lies over the other. One line lies over the another. One line lies over the other. Now comes one more basic thing. Three students. I wish I have some space. From the starting, what we have discussed is, see these two lines. These two lines, they have m1 not equal to m2. They meet at one point. They meet at they meet at one point. They meet at one point. Whenever the two lines meet anywhere, we call it consistent. We call it what? We call it consistent. We call it consistent. They meet at one point. This is called one solution. One solution is what? M1 not equal to M1, M2, or A1 minus A1 by B1 not equal to minus A2 by B2, or I can say A1 by A2 not equal to B1 by B2. This is the main thing. The lines which meet at one point, which meet at any point, one point or many points, they are called consistent, and they have one solution. And this is the main criteria for this. A1 by A2 not equal to B1 by B2. One solution means unique solution. Unique solution. Why is this unique? Because of this one. This is called unique, one solution. Now, very recently, what we discussed. This is one line. On the top of this, let's say on the top of this is another line. On the top of this is another line. They intersected many places. They intersected what? They intersected many places. Here we have m1 is equal to m2, or what I can say, from here I observe a1 by a2 equal to b1 by b2 equal to c1 by c2 for this. ठीक है. Okay, so what will I say? For this sort of lines m1 by a2, they are coincident lines. First of all, they are coincident lines. They meet at infinite points. They meet at infinite point, therefore they have infinite solutions. So this is also consistent. If a line has one solution or many solutions, that is called consistent. They show some consistency, that is somewhere they intersect, somewhere they agree with a common point, they agree with all the common points. This is called consistency. So this is called consistent. And what is the criteria for that? A1 by A2 equal to B1 by B2 equal to C1 by C2 equal to C1 by C2. So students, if I broadly classify, just give me a second here students. Let me arrange some space. If I broadly classify, they meet at one point, they meet at many points. This thing is called being consistent. This thing is called consistent. This is one point, this is many point. This is called consistent. But these parallel lines, they do not meet. When they do not meet, we call that inconsistent or no solution. Why? Solution is somewhere where the lines meet. So if they are not meeting the door, they can't find any solution among themselves. That is called no solution. Okay. So the next last thing is these are parallel lines. These are parallel lines. They have M1 equal to M2, but their C1 not equal to C2. Okay, why? I told you C1 not equal to C2 the previous class. So parallel lines, no solution. They have parallel lines. I'll say don't intersect. Don't intersect. That means no solution. That's why we call them inconsistent. We call them inconsistent. Or A1 by A2 on the basis of M1 is equal to M2, we call is equal to B1 by B2, but this is not equal to C1 by C2. This is the main theory. Now I will write all this down for you, dear students. Okay, just give me a second. Let's break everything down for the questions which will be coming. There's a thing called consistency, consistent or inconsistent. Consistency is of two types. Two type means one solution. One solution, that is called unique solution. Okay. Or infinite, infinitely many solutions. Find one solution means the lines intersect at one point. Lines intersect at one point. This is one line above the other. This is one line above the another. Okay, this is called infinite infinite point of intersections. Infinite points of intersections. Let me just see if all this is visible. Oh my goodness. Let me rewrite this. inconsistent. So this is one case, this is the other case, infinite value solution. Inconsistent means no solution. No solution means no point of intersection. No point. No point of. Yeah, I said I can rectify this thing. This is no point of intersection. No point of intersection is like this. They don't intersect anywhere. They have zero intersections. When they have zero intersections, I say lines don't meet. That is, they are parallel. The lines are parallel. When the lines are parallel, they don't meet. Then we have zero solutions, zero point of intersection, zero point of intersection. So this consistency and inconsistently is dependent upon this the number of solutions. So here we have zero solutions. Okay, here we have one solution. Here we have infinitely many solutions. Since we have some solution, that is why it is called as consistent. Since we don't have any solution, zero solution, that is why this is called as inconsistent. Lines intersected. 1 point. 1 point means one solution. 1 point means one solution. Infinite points means infinite many solution. Infinitely many solutions. Here zero solutions. Here we have zero solutions. The other thing is, my dear students, when does this happen? Here we have the slopes, different slopes. Here we have a1 by a2 not equal to b1 by b2. Okay, we have different slopes. M1 not equal to M2. Here you have A1 by A2 equal to B1 by B2 equal to C1 by C2. Same slope M1 is equal to M2. Here also you have A1 by A2 equal to B1 by B2 but not equal to C1 by C2. These lines are parallel. These lines are also parallel. Parallel. They have the same. See, I told you what here. Again, the same slope. M1 is equal to M2. But the main difference is that, dear student, the main difference is that they have different heights of intersection. This is M1 and this is C2, C1 and C2. But different heights of intersection. This is called different y-intercept. Here they have same y-intercept. So students, from my side, I have made the picture crystal clear for you people. What does the actual meaning of the of the chapter, of name of the chapter, pair of linear equations in two variables, and the meaning of the terms consistent and inconsistent, theoretically also, diagrammatically also, pictorially also, whatever way you see, understand, and logically also, whatever you may understand, whatever way you wish to understand. From my side, I have cleared the entire picture for you. What is the reason behind we name that term? We call the lines of equation as consistent or inconsistent. What is zero solution? That is no solution. What is infinitely many solution? And what is one solution? We have, from our side, we have discussed each and every thing. Okay, dear students. So let's start with the questions which belong to this chapter. Okay, since you have done this thing, so you will be easily able to grasp all this. at a quick pace. Let's move ahead. Let's start with the questions. Now we are given a question. The equation 3x minus 5y plus 2 is equal to 0. This is one equation. 3x minus 5y is equal to 2. The second equation is 6x plus 4 is equal to 10y. Or I can say 6x minus 10y is equal to 4. I write this again. 6x minus 10y is equal to 4. Fine, we have to tell what sort of solution they have. I apply the formula a1 by a2, b1 by b2, c1 by c2. 6x minus 10y minus 4. Okay, this will be minus 4. 3x minus 5y plus 2 is equal to 0. This is equal to minus 2. Okay, now a1 by a2, that is 3 by 6. b1 by b2 is minus 5 by minus 10. c1 by c2 is minus 2 upon minus 4. Here what do I see? This is half, this is half, this is half. Therefore, a1 by a2 is equal to b1 by b2 is equal to c1 by c2. Therefore, we have infinite number of solutions. Just pardon me for the spelling. Infinite number of solutions. Let's move to the next question. Let's take the next one. On comparing the ratios a1 by a2, b1 by b2, and c1 by c2, find out whether the lines representing the following pair of linear equations are consistent or inconsistent. We already know the basics. If a1 by a2 equal to b1 by b2, let's write completely, do it detail. If a1 by a2 not equal to b1 by b2, we know these are consistent. Okay, let's start with the questions. First, 3x, this is 3 by 2, then it is 2 by minus 3. The moment you see this ratio, these are not equal. You can directly say consistent and unique solution. Next one. This is the first part. Okay, second part. 2 by 4 minus 3 by minus 6. These are equal. These are equal. But 8 and 0. This is not equal to 8 by 0. If these two are equal but not equal to this, then I say there are inconsistent and no solution. Inconsistent, that means no solution. Okay, inconsistent means inconsistent or no solution. Third one, 3 by 2 upon 9, 3 by 2 upon 9, 5 by 3 upon minus 10. See, first of all, this is negative, this is positive. The moment you see anything of this sort, one thing negative, one thing positive, you directly say this is not equal. This is the third one. So what will you say? You will say consistent and unique solution. Okay, dear students, let's take the next one. Let's do the next part of this. Let's take the next one. Next is 5 by minus 10, minus 3 by 6, and 11 by minus 2. Everything boils down to minus 1 by 2, minus 1 by 2, minus 1 by 2, 5 and minus 10, then minus 3 and 6. Then on the right hand side of equal to 11 and minus 22, everything is negative and half of every component of the first equation is half of the second one. Okay, so this is equal to minus half is equal to minus half. Clear? So this is called consistent and infinite solution. The last one, 4 by 3 upon 2, that is 4 by, that is by 3. Next, this is 2, this is 3, so 2 by 3. Here there must be a 8, I hope, and this is 8 by 12, again 2 by 3. If it comes like this, then this is also consistent and infinitely many solution. And this is the answer. Okay, dear students, let's take the next one. X is equal to y, 3x minus y is equal to 4x plus y plus z is equal to 6. Then the value of z is, we have to determine the value of z. See, first of all, x is equal to y. Okay. We have 3x minus y is equal to 4. This means 3x minus x is equal to 4, or 2x is equal to 4. That means x is equal to 2. One thing is done. X is equal to 2. Therefore, y is equal to 2. X plus y plus z is equal to 6. Easy question. X is 2, y is 2, z you have to determine. Therefore, z is equal to 2. This is your answer. Option B. Okay, dear students. So far clear? Which of the following pair of solutions are consistent or inconsistent? We just have to tell consistent and inconsistent. Okay, let's start with this. See, this is, here the coefficient is 1, 1, and then 5. If I start with here, this is 1 by 2. A1 by A2 is equal to 1 by 2. B1 by B2 is equal to 1 by 2. C1 by C2 is 5 by 10 is equal to 1 by 2. So this is consistent. Okay, we need to just tell consistent. So this one is consistent. Okay, next, x minus y, this is 1, this is minus 1. What will be the ratio? 1 upon 3. Then minus 1 upon 3. Then 8 upon 16. These are equal, but this is not equal to this. Okay, so this is inconsistent. This is inconsistent. Next one is 2 by 4. 2 by 4 is positive, then 1 by minus 2, then minus 6 by minus 4. First of all, this is not equal to this. The moment you see this not equal to this is 2 by 4 and 1 by minus 2, not equal to this is consistent. This is consistent and unique solution. Okay, this is also consistent. This is not consistent. Last one, a1 by a2, 2 by 4, minus 2 by minus 4, then minus 2 by minus 5. This is equal, but this is not equal. Okay, so this is inconsistent and has no solution. This has no solution. Okay, dear students, I hope it is clear so far. Fine, let's take the next one. The next question we have is, We have to solve the given system of equation. We are given s minus t is equal to 3. Okay, dear students, see, s minus t is equal to 3 and s by 3 plus t by 2 is equal to 6. You can solve it the way you want. What I'll do is, this is s minus t is equal to 6. What I do, I multiply this equation by 3. What will happen? This will become s. This t by 2 into 3 will become 3 by 2t or 1.5t. 6 into 3 will be 18. Now this is equation first, this is equation second. If I do 2 minus 1, what will happen? This will be 1.5t minus s and s will cancel, minus t is equal to 18 minus 6, that is 2.5t is equal to 12, or t is equal to 12 upon 5 by 2, that is 24 by 5 or 4.8. This is t. So you have t is equal to 4.8 and s minus t is equal to 3, that is s minus 4.8 is equal to 3. This implies s is equal to 7.8. This is your answer, my dear students. Okay, cleared all of you? Fine, let's take the next one. The taxi charges in a city consist of a fixed charge together with a charge for the distance covered. Okay, so we have two charges. Let's say a fixed charge, that is F, and distance charge, distance covered charge, that is D, rupees D, rupees D per kilometer. Okay, like this, rupees D per kilometer. For a distance of 10 kilometer, the charge paid is rupees 105. 10 kilometer, the charge is 105. So how will that charge be, dear student? That charge will be fixed charge plus 10D is equal to 105. For a journey of 15 kilometer, the charge is 155. 15 kilometer, it is 155. So I can say F plus 15D is equal to 155. This is the first equation. This is the second equation. If I do 2 minus 1, okay, cancel 15D minus 10D. 5D is equal to 155 minus 105, 50. D is equal to 10. How much? Okay. So D is equal to 10. Now if I put this value over here, F plus 10 into 10 is equal to 105. Therefore, F is equal to 5, or 105 minus 100, that is equal to 5. So you get F is equal to 5. Next thing, what are the fixed charges and the charge per kilometer? So you have F is equal to 5, D is equal to 10. How much does a person have to pay for traveling a distance of 25 kilometer? 25 kilometer will be how much? I will tell you a shortcut for this also, dear students. 25 kilometer will be how much? F plus 25 D, that will be 5 plus 25 into 10. 5 plus 250 or 255. This is one way of doing it. The other way, what is happening, the from here you 10 to 15 you add 5 kilometer. How much is the amount? You add 50 rupees. So from 15 to, if you want to go plus 10 kilometer more, 25 kilometer, what you will add? For 5 kilometer you add 50, for 10 kilometer you will add 100. That will be 255. If you don't want to use linear equation, you can also do it like this method also, by this method also. Okay, dear students. Should I move towards the next one? Clear now? The ratio of income of two persons is 9 is to 7, and the ratio of their expenditure is 4 is to 3. If each of them manages to save rupees 2000 per month, find their monthly incomes. See, students, the given thing is the ratio of income of two persons is 9 is to 7. Okay. And the ratio of their expenditure is 4 is to 3. If each of them manages to save rupees 2000 per month, find their monthly income. See, what I will say is incomes. They will be like 9x. I will tell you a very good shortcut of this question, but let me tell you the conventional method first. 9x and 7x. This is first person upon second person, or let's say A by B. Incomes of A and B is A by B. Now I talk about expenditure. If I talk about expenditure of A and B, it will be A by B. That will be, let's say, 4 by 3. 4 by 3 by. Okay, done. If each of them manages to save rupees 2000 per month, that is income. Saving is what? Income minus expenditure. This is saving. A's income minus A's expenditure is equal to 2000. Again, let's talk about B. B's income minus B's expenditure is equal to again 2000. If I equate equation 1 and 2, if I put 1 is equal to 2, what do I get? 9x minus 4y is equal to 2000 is equal to 7x minus 3y, or I get 4y minus 3y. From here, what do I get? 2x is equal to y, or y is equal to 2x. If I put y is equal to 2x over here, 9x minus 4 into 2x is equal to 2000. What do I get? I get x is equal to 2000. So find their monthly income. So monthly incomes are how much? Monthly incomes. A has how much? 9x, that is 18,000. B has how much? 7x, that will be 14,000. This is one way of doing it. Okay. The other better shortcut is, look, I'll show you very super method. In the next page, in this page. This is the question. I hope now it's visible. Okay, no problem. Now it will be visible. Fine. Let me check if it is visible. Yes. Yes. See, the ratio of income is 9 is to 7. Incomes 9, 7. From this you subtract, what are the expenditures? Expenditure are 4 is to 3. From here you are subtracting same number, 2000. 2000. What is this? This gap is how much? This gap is 2. This gap is 1. Best way, you multiply this by 2. Whole of this thing by 2. What will you will get? You will get, this becomes 8, this becomes 6. This is 9, this is 7. Here the gap is 2. Here also the gap is 2. From here to here, see, this is income, this is expenditure. This ratio is 4 is to 3. 4 is to 3 can also be asked, interpreted as 8 or 6. From this income, you subtract, you from 9 parts, you subtract 8 parts, you get a saving of 2000. Or from this 9 parts, minus 2000 will give you 8. 7 minus 2000 will give you 8. So what I can say, from 9 you reach 8, 8 means minus 1. So 1 part is equal to 2000. 9 minus 8. Income minus expenditure is what? Saving. Income minus expenditure is what? Saving. Okay, dear students. So 1 part, 7 minus 6, 1 part. 1 part is equal to 2000. So salaries are 9 parts and 7 parts. Those are 18,000 and 14,000. Very easily done. Okay, dear students. Clear to all? The value of k for which the system of equation kx plus 3y is equal to 7 and 2x minus 5y is equal to 3 has no solution. The way we have to determine when this equation will have no solution. So when does it happen that that equation has no solution? It is like a1 for no solution, a1 by a2 is equal to b1 by b2 not equal to c1 by c2. So that way k by 2 is equal to 3 by minus 5 but not equal to 7 by 3. Okay, so first of all, k is equal to what? 3 into 2, 6 by minus 5. You have got one value. Okay, if I take the other thing, k by 2 not equal to 7 by 3, what do I get? I get k not equal to 14 by 3. So from here I get k is equal to minus 6 by 5 and also k is not equal to 14 by 3. Therefore this is your answer. Okay, dear students, let's take the next one. A lending library has a fixed charge for the first 3 days and an additional charge for each day thereafter. Okay, fixed charge is equal to F. Let's say daily charges is equal to D. Let fixed charge F, daily charges D. Now Sarita paid rupees 27 for a book kept for 7 days. 7 day charges will be what? F plus 7D, that is 27. While Susie paid rupees 21 for the book she kept for 5 days. 5 day charges will be F plus 5D, that is equal to 21. This is first. Second, if you do 1 minus 2, F and F cancel. 2D is equal to 6 or D is equal to 3. Find the fixed charge and the daily charge. So you get D is equal to 3. So daily charge for each extra day is 3. Now if I put in this equation, this is equal to 21. From here I get f plus 15 is equal to 21. So f will be 21 minus 15, or f is equal to 6. So I have fixed charges 6, daily charges is equal to 3. Clear, dear students? Let's take the next one. On solving, 25 by x plus y minus 3 by x minus y is equal to 1. Just a second. I think before this there is a previous question. Let me take that, then I'll come to this. Yeah. Simple question based on linear equations. 29x plus 37y is equal to 103. Then 37x plus 29y is equal to 95. Then you are given certain options. Okay. Uh, Better ways, put the values. Put the values. If I put x is equal to 1, if I put x is equal to 1, what do I get? 29. Okay. Put the values. Option 1. If I put option 1, then what do I get? This equation becomes 29 into 1 plus 37 into 2. This is 29. 37 into 2 is 74. Does this work out? Yes. This is equal to 103. So very easily satisfied. Easily option 1 is the answer. Next one. On solving, 25 upon x plus y minus 3 upon x minus y is equal to 1. Second equation, 40 upon x plus y plus 2 upon x minus y is equal to 5. We are given four options. Either you can simplify it, okay, or you can put the values. See, for what I'll say, I just say 1 by x plus y is equal to, suppose t, 1 by x minus y. Let's say this is p, this is q. Okay, now you have 40p minus 3q is equal to 1. I'm sorry, 25p. From here you have 40p plus 2q is equal to 5. Okay, so on solving, 25 by x plus y minus 3 by this is equal to 1 and this is equal to, we get either I have to solve this equation, or if I put the values. See students, which value is easy to put? I will say this, let's say, let's put this x is equal to 4, y is equal to 6, or this. If I put this, 1 by x plus y is how much? 1 by x plus y is 0 0.1. 1 by 10 na? 1 by 10, that is 0 0.1. 1 by x minus y is what? 1 by minus 2, or minus 0 0.5. So let's see. Now what will happen is, this is 25p, that will be 25 by 10, or 2.5 minus 3q. Q is what? Q is minus half. Dear students, if I put minus half, so this will become 2.5 plus 1.5. This will be added. It won't do me any good. So what I'll say, I'll directly suggest you to put this. X is equal to 6, y is equal to 4. You will definitely get the answer. Why? Now what is 1 by x plus y? 1 by x plus y is again 1 by 10. What will be q? Q will be, dear students, 1 by x minus y, that is 1 by 6 minus 4 or half or 0.5. Now let's see. This will become what? This option is not satisfied. I'm cancelling this. 25, the value of p. The value of p, okay. Here the value of p will be 1 by 10, that is 0.1 minus 3. The value of q is 0.5. So this becomes 2.5 minus 1.5. This is equal to 1 satisfied. Okay, let's put it here. 40 into 0.1 plus 2 into q. Q is 0.5. This is 4 plus 1 is equal to 5 satisfied, is equal to 1 satisfied. Therefore, in both the cases, both the equations are satisfied. So this will be your answer. Okay, dear students, let's take the next one. You can have a look. We tried with the option. This x6 and y4. 6 and 4 were easy to try. That's why I started with this. We are given an equation 2x plus 3y minus 5 is equal to 0, no problem. And 4x plus ky minus 10 is equal to 0. These have an infinite number of solutions then. If these have an infinite solution or number of solutions, then what will happen? 2 by 4 for infinite number of solutions. A1 by A2 equal to B1 by B2 equal to C1 by C2 is equal to 3 by 4 is equal to minus 5 by minus 10 or 5 by 10 is one and the same thing. Half is equal to 3 by k is equal to half. Both the way it is half, so you can take any one. From here I can say therefore k is equal to 2 into 3. That will give you option D is the answer. For what value of k will the following pair of linear equations have infinitely many solutions? See, we have kx plus 3y is equal to k minus 3. Then 12x plus ky is equal to k. For infinitely many solutions. What is the criteria? A1 by A2 is equal to B1 by B2 is equal to C1 by C2. K minus 3 by k, k by 3, 3 by k, and k by 12. If I equate these two from here, what do I get? I get k square is equal to 36 or k is equal to 6. The moment I get k is equal to 6, then I will equate these two. What do I get from equating these two? Here I can say that is the main thing. We just need to check out whether it is verifying or not. Now 3 by k is equal to k minus 3 by k. Okay, dear students. See, 3k is equal to k square minus 3k cross multiply. 3k is equal to k square minus 3k or 6k is equal to k square. Therefore, k is equal to 6 or k is equal to 0, or k is equal to 0, but k is equal to 0 is not satisfied. Fine. So we have k is equal to 6 and this is your answer. Okay, dear students, I hope it's clear to all of you. 1 by x minus 1 by y is equal to 1 by z, then z will be very easy question. See students, it will happen y minus x by xy is equal to 1 by z, or z is equal to xy upon y minus x. This is your answer. I hope this is clear to all of you. Okay, dear students. Let's take the next one. One says, give me 100, friend, I shall then become twice as rich as you. A says to B. Okay, this is A, this is B. A says to B, you give me 100. So from B, 100 are subtracted and this is given to A. I shall then become twice as rich as you. So A plus 100 is equal to B minus 100. This is one thing. According to question. The other replies, if you give me 10, I shall be 6 times as rich as you. Let's say the other person says, B says, if you give me your 10, if 10 are subtracted from A, then B will get B plus 10. And this amount is 6 times this amount. Okay, dear students, let me write like this. B minus 100, or I can say B is equal to, this 100 goes over here, I added, B is equal to A plus 200. This equation can be written as 6A minus 60 is equal to B plus 10. From here I can say B is equal to what? B is equal to 6A. B is equal to 6A minus 70. B is equal to 6A minus 70. Okay, clear? Now, let's say this is first equation, this is second equation. If I do second minus first, what I'll get? 6A minus 70 is equal to A plus 200. Why? B to B will cancel. So these two things are equal actually. 6A minus 70 is equal to A plus 200, or 5A, let me say 6A minus A is equal to 200 plus 70, that is 270. Or I can say 5A is equal to 270, or A is equal to 54. If A is equal to 54, then B is equal to A plus 200, that is 54 plus 200, or 254. This is your answer. Okay, my dear lovely students, I hope this portion is clear to all of you. Fine. This is the next question. Just scored 40 marks in a test getting 3 marks for each right answer as losing 1 marks for each wrong answer. Had 4 marks been awarded for each correct answer and 2 marks been deducted for each incorrect answer, then Yash would have scored 50 marks. How many questions were there in the test? See, dear students, let's say he did some questions correct and changed some questions wrong. Correct, correct attempts, let's say correct attempts is equal to C. Wrong attempts is equal to W. Okay, now according to question, he got 40 marks in a test, getting 3 marks for each right answer and losing 1 mark for each wrong answer. That is 3 for correct, 1 for wrong. That will be minus 1 for each wrong answer. He got how many marks? He got 40 marks. And according to second condition, had 4 marks been awarded for each correct answer, that is 4 correct and 2 marks deducted for each wrong answer, minus 2 into wrong, he would have got 50 marks. Okay, what I'll do, first of all, this is first, this is second. I multiply this equation by 2. If I multiply this equation by 2, what do I get? 6 correct minus 2 wrong is equal to 80. Okay, now 6 correct minus 2 wrong is equal to 80. This is third. What I do, equation 3 minus equation 2. 6 correct minus 4 correct, 2 correct. This cancel. 80 minus 50 is equal to 30. So correct is equal to 15. If correct is equal to 15, I put this in here. I put this in here. Or better way, I put this here. 6c minus 2w is equal to 80. That is 90. C is equal to 15. 19 minus 2w is equal to 80. That way 2w is equal to 10 or w is equal to 5. So correct is how many? 15. So I will say wrong is equal to 5. So total how many questions attempted? Total is equal to 20 attempts. Okay, dear students. Fine.